Good morning, everybody. We're live here from the birdhouse, and we're giving an update about some of the different things people are seeing outside again today. As always, we love to know who's on. You can say hi in the comments, or if you have any kind of sightings, you can throw those in there too. Or if you have questions, you can put them in as well. We've got some things going on here at the store also that we can share with you. The first is we do have more dates set for the birding cruises. So we had two in July so far. We have one on this Thursday, and then we have two more planned for September. So they're both on Mondays. And the first one is on Monday, September 11th, and then the second one is on September 18th. And those both are at 6 o'clock, and they go for an hour and a half. So we do have those booked, and you can buy tickets for those on our website, which is thebirdhouseny.com. So those are all up on there and ready for you to purchase if you would like. I would like to announce too, if you happen to be on the cruise for this Thursday, which is August 17th, the boat that we originally had scheduled is actually broken and needs a part that can't be bought but has to be made. So that's for the Sand Patch boat, which is quite old. So we are going to be on a different boat and at a different location. We're going to be at the Cornhill Landing location. You'll get an email about that today. We'll try to, we'll reach out to everybody via email, and we'll try to call you too if we happen to have your phone number to let you know. And if that doesn't work, we can always reschedule you on one of the other cruises, but we'll do something to make it work. So we will be in touch if you happen to be on this Thursday's birding cruise. We'll be in touch about what we can do about that. Also, our photo contest has started. We do this every year, and this is our 11th or 12th year of doing the photo contest. We have different categories. We've got a bird category, a wildlife category, scenery. We also have a youth category and a pet category. So there's a whole bunch of different categories out there. You can check out the rules on our website, which is thebirdhouseny.com. Again, the contest just started yesterday, so we're just starting to get in photos, so you can get all the rules for that. It's totally free to enter, and we give out gift certificates to the store as prizes, so you can look forward to that. So that's going to run all the month of August and into September, so you still have some time. It runs for about a month as far as us accepting pictures, so you still have some time to get your pictures in. We do physically collect 8x10 photos, and that is going on now. So check that out if you've got any photos, some fun wildlife or bird photos going. Definitely submit them. You never know. And then as far as bird things go, people are reporting lots of babies around still. So lots of baby birds out there, lots of cardinals, lots of baby blue jays, lots of baby sparrows. So they are probably pretty busy at your feeders. Doesn't seem like the activity has slowed down at all. They are still eating up a storm, especially hummingbirds. We're finally starting to get more and more reports of people seeing hummingbirds, which makes sense. They have to start fueling up for their migration back down south. And there's more of them out there because they've had their babies, and those babies have left the nest. So you might start to see more hummingbirds both at your feeders, and if you have plants for hummingbirds in your yard too, check those out, because you'll probably just start to see some hummingbirds if you hadn't had any luck with them all year. And that's what most people were saying, was that they either had none or very few hummingbirds, definitely less than they have in the past. So if that was the case with you, you were not alone. That was the same with a lot of people out there. Some different things people are reporting overhead are some osprey, and I've seen a couple this week too in places that I wouldn't normally expect to see one. I saw one over the canal just yesterday. I saw one over the Genesee River on Sunday, I think it was. So yeah, they are kind of on the move, and we've had some different reports from people that they've seen osprey. So keep your eyes out around the water. They're a large bird of prey with really long and thin wings, so thinner than, say, a bald eagle would be. And they eat fish, primarily fish. So they are found by the water. So keep an eye out for osprey. They seem to be on the move, and people are seeing them in the skies locally. The same with nighthawks, the common nighthawk. They are more of a nocturnal bird, but when they are migrating, they are active during the day, and they can be seen in groups. So if you see a group of almost what looks like small falcons or something with more pointed wings. It could be a nighthawk, and they have those white stripes underneath their wings. So that's a really good way to identify them. You might also see them if you're by a field or if you're by kind of habitat between woods and some kind of meadow or field at dawn or dusk. You might see them flying around also hunting, but they do migrate, and they will sometimes group up to migrate, so you might see a few of them all at once. And then there's lots of herons out there. There's the great blue heron. There's also green heron, which are significantly smaller, but they do have that long neck, just like the great blue heron does. This photo was sent in by Mark J. Who says green heron on the old submerged barge in the Widewater Erie Canals. So he sent in this photo here of a green heron. Plenty of both of those around. As well as we get more into the fall, we'll start to see more great egrets around, and they look like an all-white heron, basically, and they are more common in the fall. We tend to see them more often in the fall as they make their migration back down south. And then, of course, there are other herons out there, too, like the black-crowned night heron, which is nocturnal, or the American bittern, which is more secretive, but then there's also the least bittern. So some different birds you might see out by the water if you're out by a marsh or a pond. Other things to be on the lookout for are things like this. This is a pied-billed grebe. It is one of those diving type of ducks that'll kind of be bobbing on the water and then dive underneath to grab its food. It's got kind of a small head and a small beak with that line that goes right through its bill. And here, this is another photo that was sent in by Mark of a pied-billed grebe. And then there's lots of mallards out there all the time. There's even still some baby mallard ducks out there that are growing up. The mallard ducks can be identified from what are called the black ducks, even though they look very, very similar. The mallards, the female mallard at least looks a lot like the black duck, but when they are resting and when they are in flight, you can usually see that their wings have these white stripes on them. They've got that bluish, kind of bluish purpley patch with outlined in black, but then those black outlines also are outlined in white. And you can see that the black duck doesn't have it. So they have that purple bluish patch on their wing that's just outlined in black. So that's one way you can identify the two from each other. So both mallard ducks and black ducks are out there. As we go on in the weeks ahead, there'll be more waterfowl migration out there as well. So places like Montezuma are really great to go to see some of these different birds passing through, like the blue-winged teal and northern pintail, and a couple others that we'll start to see more of this month and later on as we go. And if you're out by the water, you might see something like this. This is a picture of a Caspian tern with a juvenile that was taken in Montezuma by Mark J. So you can see the terns, they tend to fly over the water. They've got those bright orange bills, and this is a great photo here of the Caspian tern. And here's another one as well. So let's see, as far as insects go, there is some different stuff out there. People are reporting monarch butterflies. I saw one of these over the weekend while camping. This is an American carrion beetle, it's called. You can usually find them decomposing things. So if there's any kind of dead animals around, you might see them crawling around. Not necessarily something you look forward to seeing, but kind of neat when you do. So that's an American carrion beetle I happen to see. And monarch activity is kind of not in its peak yet. When we're in peak migration, as far as here where we are in upstate New York, is usually around the 10th to the 15th or so of September. But there's a lot of monarchs out there right now laying their eggs. There's a lot of caterpillars out there. On Saturday, we'll be doing our live stream all about the monarch butterfly, so you can learn more about them and their migration. But they're definitely out there. Check those common milkweed plants, especially for the caterpillars. And this is what their eggs look like. They're pretty small. They're on the underside of the leaves, and that is usually where you can find them. They really don't lay their eggs on the top of the plant. You have to flip those leaves over to see what's underneath. And lots of cicadas out there too. You might see these kind of weird creature looking things attached to the plants or the side of trees in your yard. And that's the exoskeleton from the cicada. So this is what that adult cicada will hatch out of. And this is a picture here of them molting. So this is the adult coming out of the exoskeleton. And when they first come out, they're bright green until that exoskeleton hardens. And that can take a couple of hours. But we do have this series of photos that was sent in, which is really cool, I think, from Randy, who happened upon a cicada actually coming out of its nymph exoskeleton. So you can kind of see it emerging here. The nymph is attached to, it looks like a stick, and then that cicada is just starting to emerge. And when it first comes out, its wings are all crumpled up, just like a butterfly is. That's the same with, if you raise monarch butterflies, you'll see once they come out of that chrysalis, their wings are all crumpled up. But once they start pumping their body full of blood, those go to the veins in their wings, and then those expand, and then you ultimately have the adult insect. So a really cool moment that he happened upon and sent in those photos. So that is our update for the day. We're not in any kind of peak migration by any means, but there are some birds that are on the move, especially those ospreys. So look for them around the water. Look for those common nighthawk around. They might be flying around during the day. There's lots of bugs and butterflies out there right now, and we'll be talking more about those on Saturday. So definitely, if you have photos, feel free to submit them to our photo contest. We're open 7 days a week to accept photos, so you can bring them in anytime we are open. And we'll be back on Saturday with another broadcast. So until then, have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.